Surviving on nothing? At 14, I scavenged for food to stay alive, haunted by constant fear. I'm Lise, a teen from the slums, my family. Absent father, ill mother, 4 siblings, poverty choked us, nights without meals, worn out shoes, endless debts. At 12, I started begging, then taking what I needed. Fear was my shadow, street groups lurking, authorities chasing. Once, I was roughed up over a loaf of bread. I felt trapped in a cycle of shame and desperation. Dreams? Forgotten, just survival, street hardships, isolation. The streets taught me cruel lessons fast. I learned which alleys hid a spare scrap of food, which trash bins had the least rot, and which shopkeepers blinked when a boy's hands were empty. Winter nights cut through the thin blanket we shared. My mother whispered apologies she couldn't keep. Shame sat heavy in my chest whenever I saw other kids with clean shoes and cheap backpacks. I kept my head down, moving like a shadow so I wouldn't be noticed. There were nights I counted heartbeats to stay awake, so I wouldn't slip into hunger dreams and wake up choking on the emptiness. During a roundup they caught me, in youth detention. I thought it was over, but a chaplain spoke of change and faith. His words pierced my defenses. The chaplain didn't preach at me, he listened. He learned my name, not as a file but as a person. He handed me a ragged notebook and a pencil and told me to write one small thing I wanted tomorrow. The first day I wrote, "Clean socks." The second day I wrote, "Learn to fix a door." Those small things became bridges out of the daily grind. In the rehab program I found people who believed in teaching, not punishing. A carpenter who showed me how to measure wood. A cook who taught me how to turn cheap ingredients into a warm meal. A counselor who taught me how to breathe when panic came. I stumbled plenty, relapses, mistrust, and the constant pull of my old streets. But there were also moments of astonishing tenderness. A mentor who gave me his winter coat. A counselor who sat with me while I cried for my mother. I learned skills, found mentors, I saved, bit by bit, built a small routine, and discovered that making something with my hands healed more than hunger. When I was finally ready, I used those skills to open a tiny shelter. It wasn't much at first, a single room with a few cots and a kettle, but it became a home for boys and girls who smelled of smoke and fear. We taught carpentry, cooking, basic literacy, and how to trust another human. We shared meals, stories, and a rule simple as breath. No shame, only chances. Today, at 25, I run a shelter for at-risk youth. Poverty didn't defeat me, it propelled me. Resilience and faith turned fear into power. Jeremiah 29 verse 11, NIV declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse proves that from the depths, destiny rises. If you're struggling, believe, your story can change.